Hello and thanks for staying with us. Nigerian Customs Service speaks on private airline operations in Nigeria. Also on customs report, the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service continue its dialogue with members of the National Assembly in Abuja. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Itinye. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has been speaking on the revenue generation of the service and also the fight against smuggling in Nigeria. The Customs Boss told members of the National Assembly that the service will continue to implement government policies in regard to clearance of goods at the port and all approved routes in the country.
First and foremost, on the issue of vehicles being accosted, so I must have enlightened that we have three layers of making sure that our laws are enforced. We have at the port the area controllers and their team. We have the FOU, Federal Operation Unit, and also we have the strike force. And because of the discretion and sometimes the indiscretion of our officers, where compromise is being made between the importers and our officers, we have to put other layers to check these things. And that is why you sometimes will find out, let me say this, that there are cloned custom documents going about. Agents will connive with our officers. When you pay as an importer, you give him the correct duty, he will calculate the correct amount of the duty you're supposed to pay with all charges. He gives you, and you give him the money. He will go and connive with a custom officer and reduce the distance. And then they clone the paper, and you take the vehicle out. For the FOU chap, as far as is concerned, that paper you presented did not meet the requisite requirement. That happens sometimes to innocent importers. There are also importers who connive directly with the agents and reduce the duty. And then expect that paper, when it's out, that is done. It's not like Bible and Quran, no. It's subject to checking. And if we discover that the value of the car that you are riding is not commensurate with the duty you pay, then you question. And let me also say, the issue of saying you buy a car for 180,000 naira or also euro. Cost duty of car is not only the value of the car you bought the car with. There's cost of the vehicle, there's insurance, there's freight. All these are calculated to what you pay as duty. So sometimes we need to ask questions before we begin to fight the system. If they give you an amount, ask the customs officer, what is the composition of this amount? What are the subheads that makes up this total? He will explain to you. It's not only because you bought a car for 130 euro, and therefore you will come and just look at the cost of the car and then that. No, there's insurance, there's freight. All those are calculated and added to the value based on the cost. So you pay. That's what the law says. So it's not that So let us ask questions. I'm sure our officers will be able to explain some of these things. And that's why the issue of underpayment do arise. Because if you compromise, or your agent compromise, in most cases agent, now we have taken the steps in custom to prosecute agents, because we have discovered that agents are cheating importers. They know the correct charges. They will calculate everything and give it to you, and you give them the money. They will go and take that money, and then if you say your car is 2018 or 2019, they will go and reduce that car to 2009, and then say it's accidental. And they know that the value will drop, and they will pay that. And when you bring that car out, and an FOU officer sees you with that car, and you present that document, he looks at the car, it does not meet that description, and therefore you are liable to pay another money. So this is what is happening. This is what is happening. And we are doing the best we can, but always ask the question. And that's why we're trying to automate the system. By e-custom, you can sit in your house. You want to import Mercedes 250E. You will see the freight, you will see what is the insurance on it, what is the freight on it. You calculate your duty. You can pay online without talking to anybody. Then you can ask an agent to go and collect it for you. It makes it easier. We are trying to automate the system. And once that is automated, this discretion will remove completely. And therefore, agents will not, but today, agents are one of our biggest problems. Because they give you a different listing, and they go and do a different thing. And they give you, when they collect the paper, you don't even know which one is genuine, which one is not genuine. As far as we are concerned, you have a genuine custom paper. But by the time the officer looks at it and says it's not genuine, the quarrel will start. How come, is it not from custom that it comes? It might not be from custom. It might not be from custom. I am going to respond to this one after the other. I would first take the chairman's comments on the issue of the budget of 2021 and the need to increase it from the 1.4 trillion to 1.679 trillion. Let me grab the indulgence of the chairman here to say the target set by the federal government every year is based on some parameters. Is not based on an ad hoc computation. First and foremost, the MTEF, which is the budget committee, sits down and look at and do a complete analysis, and then do a projection. And with our own officers, we also sit down and look at what is feasible that can be generated. And Mr. Chairman, I make haste to say this last year, 2020, we are lucky. Despite the COVID-19, we were able to garner this. But as at then, the African Free Trade Agreement did not come into place. African Free Trade Agreement has now taken effect from the 1st of January 2021. And that agreement is geared towards zero duty for all imports coming from member countries within Africa.
The Nigerian Customs Service has urged private airline operators, that is chartered airline operators, to continue to present proper papers before coming in outside the country. The order came from the management of the Nigerian Customs Service to enable them to monitor their activities in the country. The customs spokesman, Joseph Atta, has this to say on the issue.
Well, we are happy. We are continuously on the rise. Our revenue generation has always been on the increase. Already within 5 months of this year, we are noticing tremendous increase over and above what was collected in the same period last year. Between January and May, which is 5 months, we already have generated 806 billion, 945 million, 516,734 naira. Now, when compared to the same period last year, we have a positive difference of over 226 billion. So it's on the increase, and this is largely so because of strict adherence and implementation of all extant regulations, strategic deployment of officers and men, robust automation of our processes. These days, most of the clearance procedures are done online in such a way that person-to-person contact that usually would give rise to occasions of compromise are reasonably eliminated. Robust stakeholder sensitization, and we are also happily noticing some inclination, to compliance by some of our stakeholders. Level of compliance is on the rise. We thank these stakeholders for their compliance, and we urge others to join the new era of doing the right thing. And of course, the reform agenda of the Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, retired, which focuses on moral repair, attitudinal change, is yielding results. More and more, we are recording a very robust inclination of officers to place national interests above self. So all this coming together to reflect in the kind of revenue we generate for the nation.
Yes.
Compliance has been on the increase. Integrity on the part of officials have also been on the increase. Generally, it's because of the zero tolerance of the Comptroller General. We see when you have a leadership that says something and does exactly what it says, followership, we have no any other alternative than to key in. And those who are deviants, we have the consequences of deviance. So when you have a regime that places premium on rewarding a good deed and punishing the defaulters, then this is what you get.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The revenue base of the Nigerian Customs Service has been increasing since 2021. The acting Comptroller General of Customs in charge of headquarters says that the management has been complying with government policies and approved by the federal government. The ACG headquarters speaks more on happenings around the service.
To Nigerians, for example, if you take the air wing unit of the service, we have a number of aircraft, such as helicopters, that we do aerial patrol and gather intelligence around the country. 2, the anti-money laundering unit, you find members of that unit or officers of that unit deployed to all international airports and major entry and exit points. The main function of that unit is to monitor, register currencies going in and out, and render such reports on weekly basis to the office of the ACG headquarters. The printing unit, the unit is responsible for printing of all our files, documents, and any other publication of the service, such as files like this. This is equally a product of the printing unit, and with this, the service was able to save a lot of money. Imagine we are giving this thing out as contract to other printing press to print for us, who lose, who have to pay a lot of money. But we are doing this in-house, and it's equally assisting the service. Then the public relations unit. This unit is responsible for managing our information and other public relations issues between the service, the other medias outside. And under that unit, we have Nigerian Customs Broadcasting Network, we have a television station, we have radio station, and they are all digital. You can tune to the radio on the net. You can equally get it on FM. Then the television, you see most of our activities. This one is being coordinated by the PR unit.
The Assistant Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, Staff College in Abuja, said Nigerian Customs Service will continue to promote the education of members of staffs all over the country. So the service will also make sure that all service operators in the country are well trained in the field of customs operation within the border, airport, and also the seaport. So the Staff College will further improve the skill of officers working around the country. It speaks more on a number of issues.
If I take it from the basics, the college was designated or has been designated as a regional training center for West and Central African region of the World Customs Organization. So when it was commissioned in 2011, the Secretary General of the World Customs Organization, Kunio Mukuria, when he was actually impressed with the structures that he saw, he requested then that this should serve as a regional training center at the college. And the request was granted immediately by the CG then, late Diko Abdullahi, and the college has functioned then as a regional training center. So we've hosted several regional programs, regional training programs, organized by the World Customs Organization, organized by other international bodies like the UN, AU, ECOWAS, GIZ. So this has actually gone beyond Nigeria. We have a center that is devoted solemnly to that. And beyond the region, I remember that in 2019, the chairperson of the World Customs Organization, who was then the head of Customs Administration of Uganda, paid a visit, to Nigeria, and essentially, he came to the college to interact with the officers and directing staff after delivering a lecture on modern customs administrations and things like that. And because of the kind of this relationship, our African study tour in the college, which we do annually, we go to some African countries. Last year we were in Benin, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Kenya, and those 4 African countries. The year before we were in Ghana, Cameroon, Niger, and one other country. So through this study tour, we are also able to get contact, networking with our colleagues. We're learning from them. They are also learning from us. And we produce research work that we believe will be useful not only for the Customs Administration of Nigeria, but also for other customs administrations in Africa.
The coordinator in charge of the strike force Zone A has again intercepted goods worth millions of naira from smugglers operating along the nation's borderline. The strike force coordinator said that the unit will continue to intercept goods not approved by government. It speaks more on seizures made by its unit. Displaying the seized containers at Ikorodu terminal, so the team is now focusing attention to identifying dangerous cargoes right inside the seaport before they are being cleared by the agent. So said that the export of unprocessed woods alongside allied products was banned in 2019 by the federal government in order to protect the nation's forest.
This is to stop, in its wisdom, the federal government largely to stop environmental degradation. encroachment of the desert. So it's desert encroachment. And equally, for Nigerians to have, to add value to, so that the real productive sector, our youth are engaged in turning this into finished products.
The Deputy Controller also said that other goods seized include 550 cartons of footwears, 343 rugs of synthetic grass cover, and 1,709 bags of foreign rice.
It's 231 million for this particular container of footwear. If that amount is deployed to production of footwear in Nigeria with the abundance of harder skin and the abundance of capable hands, both young men and women, young boys and girls, it will go a long way in expanding the economy.
According to the custom boss, the duty paid value of the goods is worth 1.65 billion naira, while the recovered is put at 1.8 billion from the month of January to June from importers. The Federal Operation in the Zone B has seized goods worth 198 million naira from smugglers at various locations within the zone. The seized items include 175 packs of tramadol, 304 parcels of cannabis, 333 cartons of foreign magic drugs, 527 cartons of products, and 670 cartons of foreign macaroni rice.
This is tramadol, a very much controlled drug that even on medicinal ground, it has to be controlled. It came without the normal control documents, and therefore God was on our side. We got it, and we are investigating the source of this illicit drug because it's very dangerous for our life.
The other items seized by the FOU Zone B are 108 bales of second-hand clothing, 200 cartons of foreign shoes, vegetable oil, 10 vehicles used in covering the seized items.
Very peculiar one that we have not been coming across, 333 cartons of foreign Alfeka Magic Love. This is a product that is popularly known as shisha. This shisha is a controlled product. I came to do an approved route, and therefore it became liable for us to arrest it.
He urged importers of goods into the northern axis to always make sure that they get approval before any consignment is allowed to come into the country, so that anyone caught may face the wrath of the law. Egeseme Itinye, AIT News, Kaduna. The Customs Area Controller has warned importers to always stop presenting wrong documents to Nigerian Customs Service. The custom boss made it known while displaying containers seized by his team in 3 bonded warehouses in Lagos. He said that the seizure and revenue generation could only be attributed to improved trade facilitation and creation of one-stop shop at the command.
Our sustained anti-smuggling campaign and the increase in the level of compliance have resulted in reduction of smuggling activities in the command. Though, for the period under review, the command has recorded 10 quality seizures of various uncustomed goods, such as tomato paste, used clothing, unregistered pharmaceutical drugs, etc., with a duty paid value of 442 million naira in the month of June.
In the area of export trade, the command generated revenue worth 272.3 billion naira from government.
This may be another form of codeine. So, and the person declare his consignment as meat scale and cloth dryer. And this is his declaration. In the bill of lading, soft copy bill of lading, they said essential product. 1,292 cartons, and that's exactly the cartons inside.
He urged custom brokers, freight forwarders, and also exporters to make sure that they follow the rules as approved by the Nigerian Customs Service. Goods worth millions of naira has been intercepted by Katsina Command headed by a Deputy Controller of Customs. The command intercepted bags of rice with vehicles used for the smuggled items into the country. According to him, the service will continue to fight illegal importation of unapproved goods into Nigeria.
We have a Toyota Camry 2015 model, a DPP of 6,750,000. Mitsubishi Outlander Jeep, a DPP of 1,620,000. We have also a Passat Volkswagen, 1,620,000 as the DPP. We have a Peugeot Boxer bus, 2,835,000 duty paid value.
So the command also seized items which include foreign sugar, cartons of foreign matches and animals feed, and other items worth over 82 billion naira.
Use tricycling napep, keke napep, one with a DPB of 180,000 naira, with a total of 12,485 naira. Now the grand total altogether stands at 83,387,265 naira.
He warned will-be smugglers that anyone caught will face the wrath of the law. Just before the end of this week edition of the program, we brought you a report where goods worth billions of naira was intercepted by the Zone A strike force in Lagos. For me, Igiseme Itinye, thanks for watching.